Hey guys, what's up? Got another video for you, and I wanted to talk about some cool new projects that are going to be coming up, and ones that I'm going to be taking on. I'm going to start some unit train projects. I haven't really been doing too many unit trains other than, I guess, an auto rack train, which I've been adding to for the last 3 or 4 years now. And I've been going through, but the big thing that I really wanted to start doing was a coal train. I originally had a coal train that was a CSX unit coal train, and it was a couple years back, and I ended up selling that one, and it wasn't very good. I mean, the cars looked okay. Some of the weathering was kind of meh, you know, it was older, but it did the job there for a while. But I definitely want to start collecting some cars to make an actual proper coal train for the layout when it is completed. And I am still working on the layout, by the way. It's still coming along, but I've been doing a lot of indoor work lately. And I've been stocking up on cars because as it worked out, I've actually started collecting some stuff, as you can see. So it's interesting, and the timing was pretty interesting too, because it was around my birthday, because my birthday is on the 12th of May this year. And around that time I was actually wanting to start a different kind of train, which I'll talk about in a second. And what ended up happening was some cars that I've really wanted, some older Walthers cool cars came out and were on eBay. So I ended up buying one and was like, okay, that's fine. You know, I wasn't planning on making a unit train there. Well, then this guy listed another pack, and I was like, okay. And so I got that one cheap. I mean, like 80, 90 bucks. And the cars that I'm talking about are EDGX. So if I actually move these out of the way, they're the Blue End EDGX cars. These are really hard to find because of the Walthers Gold Line series. These packs have been long out of production in the Gold Line series. But anyways, I had bought one, and then the guy ended up listing another. I lost it, actually. And so I was like, you know, it's what it is. I'll just claim the other pack. Well, later on, he messaged me and said, hey, I found 2 more packs of the EDGX coal cars. You interested? And I was like, oh, it depends, name your price. And he ended up saying, what was it, $160 for 2 packs of these. And obviously they're rare. $160 is practically how much one of these goes for. So I was like, I will definitely take them. And these are great too because they're all individually numbered. The guy that had these had, I think, a 6-pack unit train of these cars, and he actually renumbered them. He did a pretty good job doing them because the numbers are all different on each one of these cars, which is pretty cool. And I snagged them pretty cheap, so I ended up getting 3 packs of these. And then recently on eBay, as luck had it, another guy ended up selling a whole train worth of these, and I've been snagging a couple packs, so I now have 5 packs of these things. And then, on top of that, around the same time, a friend came over and gave me a couple coal car packs that he didn't want anymore. And I forgot he had these. But anyways, these are some UP ones, and I really wasn't going to model a UP coal train, so I'm actually going to use these for some like lease cars and then sell whatever I don't use. So anyways, it's pretty cool how it worked out. And then Intermountain recently just started unveiling their Bethgon, or what are these, the Coal Porter? What are these? Yeah, coal porters. So the aluminum side coal porter, and it's in their like standard line, so they're not, you know, insanely detailed, but they match really well with the Walthers cars, which are already about the same level of detail anyway. They have the metal wheels, they have KD couplers, and that counts. So I basically ended up getting a couple packs of these too, and I got a really great deal on these on eBay when they dropped because the guy was selling all these individual number cars. Pretty much like 20. I ended up paying like $20, about $25 I think per car because he had a really good discount, and I ended up getting a 35% off discount per car I think, or something like that. So I ended up getting these pretty cheap. So anyways, I got all these. These are all Intermountain, like I said. So I got the TGNX, FPPX. Maybe can do some kind of lease scheme, patch out version with these, because the thing I really want to model is some lease cars. And I did make a set to start, but you can see I have mostly MBKX, and then the EDGX. And again, I have 3 packs of these. So that worked out pretty well. So I have these 3 packs here, which I got to work on and do some work to. And then I have 2 more packs coming in the mail that I'm going to have to renumber and do all the work to. And then I have all of these that I'm going to have to do all the work to. But these are all readily available, so if you guys want to get some coal cars pretty cheap, these are on eBay right now. A bunch of people have them. So that worked out. So I got these coal cars. I have these that I got to figure out what to do. And now, as for completed cars that I've been working on, I have these guys here. These are kind of like test beds for my newest weathering skills. These are former UP cars that I got, because he gave me like 5 packs of these things in trade for some work. And so I was like, I'll gladly take them, and I basically weathered these up and converted them to lease units. So there's CEFX version and then the CITX version here, and they're all pretty beat up. I used a multitude of different effects to do like the splatter and grease and dirt and safety striping, unique patching and things like that. And then they're all basically weathered to have interior loads. So you can see they're not weathered all the way down inside the car, but the weathering that is there is realistic and prototypical because it's very dirty and scraped up, just like aluminum is. When you look at the top of the car, you can see all the scrapes and dings, just like the real cool cars have too. So this is my standard for currently the cool car weathering. And it still looks kind of detailed, but in reality it really only took, from start to finish, maybe about an hour of weathering per car. I could definitely go in much more detail and like do a lot more graffiti and things like that, but they're mainline weathering jobs. So you can see the trucks are pretty basic weathered wise, standard KD couplers. I didn't do too much of those, but they're weathered to go in a unit train, right? But they still will play the part and they'll still look cool. So those are like the UP cars, for example, that I was working on. So I have those. Like I did a 5-pack of these. These are Athearn, and they're former UP. So I just basically patched them, repainted part of them, and then added all the decals and safety striping and things like that. Now, like I said, I still got all those cars to work on, and then I have these packs that I gotta sort through and decide if I want to keep or if I basically want to sell. The UP ones are pretty common. You see these sell on eBay like all the time, but if I sold these, decided to sell them, I'd just sell them in like a 2-pack like this. So we'll see what happens. I have those though. But anyways, that's the start of a unit cold train, which I really wasn't expecting. I didn't think I was going to start doing a cold train anytime soon. It just was like how, I guess, fate worked out that way. And it's weird because it's like you got to keep an eye on eBay. You got to keep an eye. If you want to start collecting stuff like this, there's just these little breaks where there's years and years of time where no one has anything like this listed, and then all of a sudden everyone and their grandma has this exact car. It's being listed. They sell quick, and you really got to pay attention. But that's how it worked out, and that's how I ended up getting the coal cars I wanted. And I'm really happy because, like I said, I had been looking for this style coal car for years and years. These are the ones. And it sucks because I remember being a little kid when these first dropped, and I mean, this road number was everywhere. I'd go to all these train shows, like the one in Toledo, for example, and they would be all over, and now you can't find them, so go figure. That's just how it works. But anyways, I was able to luckily grab 3 of these, and like I said, I got 2 more packs of these that I gotta renumber that are in the mail. They're on the way. So that's the coal train. Now, there's 2 unit coal trains. The other one is a sulfur train, and this was originally the unit train I wanted to do. But as you guys know, with the Walthers Proto tank cars, because I'm using mostly Walthers Proto cars, these are really hard to find. And you're probably wondering how the hell I got all these. Well, the story behind this is I was going to go on eBay, and I wanted to look around. Of course, you can't find these anywhere, and when you do, they sell for $40, $50, $60 a car, which is retarded. I mean, like, it's just not worth it to pay that much per car. Now, you're seeing this discount. Now, the story behind this, and this is why you got to check, Spring Creek model trains in Deschler, Nebraska saved the day. Just by sheer coincidence, I looked them up one day, and they didn't have any of these listed on their website, because most of these hobby shops don't have stuff like this listed, is what's annoying. And I just called them up. I was like, hey, do you guys carry any Walthers Proto cars? And the woman behind the counter, she said she had maybe a few, and as it turned out, she had more than a few. Way more than a few. She had a whole bunch of different road numbers, a ton of different schemes and stuff like that, as you can see. And basically she sent me a whole bunch of different road number lists and things like that to sort through. And so basically I just chose a whole bunch of cars in bulk, and then would buy like every number of each car basically. And so this was the first batch. I got 20 cars to start with that I ordered. They were real helpful. They were able to supply me with a complete inventory of sulfur cars that they had, and I was able to buy them. So this is a great thing. It worked out wonderfully. Because you can't find these things. They're long out of production. Walthers quit the production of these cars for some stupid reason. They're not going to be producing them anymore, so now they're just going to continue to become more and harder to find. But for any of you that are interested, Spring Creek does still have quite a few of these cars if you're looking for some. You just got to call them up, request an inventory list of sulfur cars that they might have, and they should be able to have quite a few road numbers. Now, the issue that I ran into And I guess I should start with the backstory of these cars, right? So I wanted to model a sulfur train since I was a little kid because I used to see them come out of Chicago and then go through Macomb and then up in Fostoria on CSX and NS. They take the turn and go south down the CNO in Fostoria, and they go down to Florida from Chicago. I think some of these originate in Canada. Anyways, they're all ConocoPhillips trains, so they're PPRX reporting mark. And obviously the I do have some PPRX like reporting marks in there. I have some really interesting like lease cars too, like these CGTXs. These are really hard to find. The yellow band. I got the TILX version. This is really hard to find too. They got a bunch of these, by the way, because this is the version everyone was trying to find. They have this, the TCPX, and the GATX version for anyone that's interested. Just call them up. So I got that, but I'm trying to find a PPTX road. There's one. Or it's PPRX. I'm sorry, guys. So PPRX is the road that I see here in town. The trains that come through are almost all PPRX cars. My plan with these, because obviously I couldn't get all PPRX cars, I have some of these where the data is pretty much correct. All I got to do is renumber them. Now to speed up the process, what I've done is I've gone through Circuit City Decals, and I had to make a large decal sheet of PPRX, TILX, and GATX patch decals that I can just pretty much ready decal these cars. They're going to have basic weathering, some of them. Some of them I'll go into a little bit more detail with to try to make them look nice. But as you can see, most of these are plain black. But I have a ton of like ECUX. There's another PPRX, another SALX, because I got a whole bunch of SALX cars. Because she had a ton of those in stock, so I ended up buying those. It's just weird how these things work out, because like I said, I wasn't trying to get a Coltrane right off the rip. I was in the process of looking for sulfur cars, and right when I found the sulfur cars, the Coltrane started popping up. So I sold a whole bunch of models to basically afford this project. I didn't buy this, I didn't try to buy this all at once. So I ended up getting these, and she still had more. I'm basically trying to go for a 50-car unit train of sulfur tank cars. So I have all of these here that I got to work on, this entire stack here. And then just today, my other order of them came in. So I have this entire box here of sulfur tank cars. I think this is an order of 18. So in this other box I have 20 cars, and these are all like mostly the safety stripe version. There's some different road names in there where I'm going to actually keep these, not so much renumber them, but I have some cars that I'll have to renumber. But I'm going to keep the main reporting marks. So I have like SUJX, FHRX, TIMX, a bunch of different roads, as you can see, that I'm going to have to go through. I got the NDYX, the really popular one there too. So I have a box of 20 there, and then I have the ones there. And then in terms of ones that I've actually worked on, I had these that were in storage, and I figured it would be a good idea to just knock them out. So I have like two 2-packs of Procore cars that I had in storage. These are the 16,000 gallon Walthers cars. And so I ended up patching and decaling and customizing some of these for sulfur service using prototype photos. But basically, this is like a starting point with some more detailed cars, and then I have some that are like in storage there, for example, that I got to do. So I guess the point that I want to make about unit trains, though, is you never want to jump into too much at once. I know I bought all these cars at the same time, but the big thing is you want to break down projects like this in little manageable chunks. That way you don't get overwhelmed, because there is a lot of cars to do, and you want to break it down in small chunks and only work on little bits at a time. So, like I said, I'll keep you guys kind of posted as I go along doing some of these cars. It's not going to be done in a year, probably. It's going to be a slow process, especially with coal cars, because I got to do so much patch work, decal work, safety striping, making custom loads, because I'm going to have to figure out how to make my own loads for these things and then make bases for them. It's going to be a lot of work, but I'm going to be taking lots of breaks. A lot of these cars I'm going to put away for a long time, keep them boxed, basically, and then get around to them. It's a slow process, and of course, I got plenty of time. I'm not in a huge hurry. It's just one of those things, but, you know, it still is fun being able to collect this stuff. So we'll see how it kind of goes along. Like I said, I'll keep you guys posted, of course, on these. And I'll, of course, keep you guys posted on the other projects I'm working on, because I'm going to take breaks and do other things here or there too. So, anyways, thank you for watching, guys. I'll keep you guys posted, like I said, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.